Welcome to another episode of CrossTalk. My name is Kevin Tocci, and I will be your host for the next 30 minutes, although I did tell one of my guests that it'd be 29 minutes and 30 seconds. That would be accurate. As you know, this particular program, what we like to do is use it to talk about the two communities that we serve, from a cornucopia of issues, items, topics, whether it has to do with politics, whether it happens to do with issues happening in and around the communities, or it could be a fun event. And it so happens that we got an event that is coming up on November 10th. This is going to be the 15th annual wine tasting. This is for the Whitman Park. And joining me to talk about this fantastic event, which is being held at the Town Hall, is June O'Leary, the June O'Leary, project manager for the Friends of Whitman Park, and the general manager for Regal Marketplace. We have George Vemis joining us. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. It's interesting because I've had my chance to, I've known both of you for a long time, and it's nice to at least finally get you in front of our cameras and talk about some of the things that you do, what you specialize in. We'll start with June. 15 years this event has been taking place. Talk to us about the importance of an event like this.
Well, this is our only fundraiser that we have. I have written a lot of grants, and we have received a lot of money through grants for the park, but this is our only fundraiser. And it's not just a fundraiser money-wise, it's turned into a social event. People come and see, have a nice drink of wine, some nice food. Is a silent auction there for people to get some really good bargains. But it's turned into a yearly social, enjoyable event. But it's our only fundraiser, so we like to tell people, please come.
And I would be remiss if I don't mention that other than a wine tasting, there is also a silent auction that will be a part of this. Now, you want to share some details in regards to Whitman Park and its importance and its place here in the community, if you will. Talk to us about the importance of Whitman Park.
Briefly, I grew up in Whitman, and when we talked about the park, it was just the town park. And then one year when I got married, came back to live here, I heard that the baseball organization was going to put 5 baseball fields in the park. And I am a descendant of the Whitmans, and it just got me worried that, my God, we're going to lose the park. So I went to the town DPW, I went to the Board of Selectmen, got some people together and started this thing to save and restore the park. And our wonderful accountant, Claire Smedley, she's a brilliant woman. She got me into this grant writing, and she said, I have a grant down here. Would you write it, see if we could get some money for the park, because she loves the park. So I said, okay, and I just fell down this enormous hole, and here I am 15 years later, still doing this. But it's so important socially. I don't think there's a town around that you can talk to anybody that doesn't know about the Whitman Park. And kids come here, they grow up knowing and enjoying the park. It's now on the National Register as an Olmsted Park. We've worked very, very hard, and the DPW has been very good. They've helped us. We funded a lot of things, but the DPW has done a lot of work and helped us out. But we do need that money. This year we replaced a beech tree, but it was $1,200 for one tree, and we got a good price on it, and the DPW helped to plant it. But all this adds up, and it's very expensive. So all this money, every penny goes right into the park.
George, it's safe to say that Regal Marketplace is a partner in this annual event. Is it safe to say that?
It is. I think we joined I want to say this will be our 10th or 11th event that we've been part of the Friends of Whitman Park. June approached us many years ago, and it was just another way to give back to the community. So I get all my vendors involved. We have multiple tables. We try to bring some beer because not everybody loves wine. That does happen sometimes. And we've, over the years, made the event bigger and better. It is definitely a social event. We have some customers who literally will bring 40 friends just to this event, and they come to the store and they'll buy 40 tickets or 50 tickets. So definitely, to June's comment, it has become a big social event and something that everyone looks forward to year after year.
You know, on the heels of celebrating your 20th anniversary.
Thank you.
Of owning this business, if I'm correct. What's it like to partner with a community event like this and be able to show the community that, you know what, that you are invested in it?
It is something that's amazing. Not every business gets that opportunity. And when we have the opportunity, whether it's a baseball team, the high school, we also help out with the DARE program, and we provide Richie Slushes to the DARE program summer camp. Anything we can do to give the community is awesome because it gives you a nice feeling and it brings you and ties you back into the community. Mm-hmm. So this event alone is awesome. And what's awesome that I've seen is all of our vendors have tied into it, and they look forward to coming, and they enjoy coming, and they remember the staff members of the Friends of Whitman Park, and they remember some of the customers that, you know, like I said, when you bring 40 guests, not everyone's from the town of Whitman, so sometimes they only see them once a year, but they remember their faces. So it's just awesome to see how close we can become as a community.
Yeah.
I guess I will return volley with you, June. How important is it to have a partner like Regal, you know, be invested in the community and be invested in your event?
I think it's one of the best symbiotic relationships because it's good for them and it's good for us. We work very well together. George has just come right in. I had the first 3 or 4 years, we had a woman from East Bridgewater that owned, I think it was Spirits of Vineyards and Spirits or something like that. And she got us introduced into how to do this. And George was just starting up. And he was so eager. So he works so hard. And he still does to get that wine business going. And I remember when he started in this tiny little room. It was a tiny little room, and now look what it is now.
Up a corner down the railroad tracks. It's a very impressive establishment that isn't just necessarily offering spirits, but it's, you know, it's like
and I think
a market.
The fact that we have it in the town hall, I think, means something to the people, to the community, because that's a
historical building like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful old hall, and it's a nice place to have it. And I've seen it grow from, I think, the first year. We were all excited when we hit 100 people coming, and now, what do you think?
We're upwards of 275 and 300, depending on the year, and obviously a lot of people's social events and kids' calendars, but we get close to 300 almost every year.
So according to my notes, over 100 wines. Is this all different winemakers in vineyards or just a select few? How do you do that?
So what we like to do every year is to try not to repeat at least the last 3 years. And if in total for the last 5, I don't think we've repeated one. And it obviously becomes very hard because you're talking about 500 different wines over the course of the 5 different years. But what we do is it gives us an opportunity for our vendors to bring in new products. So they pitch us new products, and the first time that we present them is actually the Friends of Whitman Park wine tasting. And then we feature them at the store, and, you know, customers can come down and buy them. And it's just a way to try something new and put something new in front of the customer.
You also said beer. Now, I thought I saw photos on your Facebook page in regards to new craft beers that are being introduced into the marketplace. Are you thinking about maybe introducing a few of those, or does it depend?
So no, we do bring a lot of beer, and I try not to bring your staple, you know, your domestic beers, because everyone knows what that tastes like. So we do bring craft beers. and we'll feature, again, 3 or 4 different vendors.
Yep.
And throughout that, it's, again, another opportunity for someone to try something that they wouldn't necessarily get to try. So, for instance, if you were a cab drinker and you come there, now you can try a Pinot Noir and a Merlot, and you might find one that you like, and now you can venture to something new or different. Same thing if you're a beer drinker, you might only drink IPAs. You might find a nice winter porter that you might want to drink and enjoy over the holiday season.
And believe me, they try them all.
Really? Now, do you yourself, are you more or less the MC, or do you find yourself, are you the greeter? What is June O'Leary's role in some of the other Friends of
I
Whitman Park?
don't know. Oh, and some of the other
This is
roles.
the 15th one. I would think you'd know by now.
You just get everything ready before. You know, you go for weeks and you get people to contribute and get everything lined up and all organized. And then the night it goes bang, bang, like that. You don't have a chance to try wine. You don't have a chance to bid on half the stuff. You're just there, and then it's over. It goes so quickly. But people really enjoy it. And they get there because, well, actually, here, I'll show you
Hold that up so Carol can see it.
because of this, the glass that we all got started, the first 100 people that come get a free wine glass, a collector wine glass. And we've had 14 different things on the front of the glass. The 15th one this year, I'm not going to tell you what it is. People like to be surprised.
So you're saying this is just a sample, but that the ones, because you're going to be giving out 100 to the first
First 100
100
people.
who walk through the door.
Everybody gets one.
And it's going to be it's going to be different from this?
Yeah, every year it's different.
Really?
We have
So it's
people
almost
who
like
have
collectibles.
they are. Everybody gets a new one each year. And they line up, my God, some of them line up at the door at 6:30.
It's almost like a yard sale, like they're like, the early birds who show up?
They collect them and they like them, I guess, so they do that.
Yeah, the first 100 people are usually there. I want to say event starts at 7. By 6:45, usually the first 100 people are already outside the door.
Forget it. The free glass if it's not there before 6:45, 6:30, yeah.
What's it like for you getting ready for this event? It sounds to me, it's quite the undertaking, but it's an undertaking that you look forward to.
I definitely look forward to it. In the beginning, it took a lot of time. And over the years, we've made some various improvements. We started with just a basic catalog. Now we produce a actually 10 to 15 page booklet that has wine descriptions and different coupons for customers. So we've got it down to a science now, but it's still, the planning for this event starts in August, where we reach out to all the vendors. They come in, tell them, hey, listen, you got to give me your 10 to 15 wines that you want to feature at the tasting. I need them by September 1st. You need to get me your wine descriptions, so that way I can edit them, fit them into the book. I take some the things that June puts into the book as well, and then we produce the book and we have it ready. That's the biggest part. We also feature some of our foods that we serve down at the deli.
So you're saying that's what the hors d'oeuvres will be?
Some of them are, and then June also reaches out to some other local businesses who donate some food and some of their staff members to put out some food. And through all that, that coordination between food and items, we pretty much got it down to a science now where it's, this happens by this date, that happens by that date. And like she said, we gear up for the event an hour to 2 hours before, and 7 to 9 flies like it's nothing.
But but it sounds to me that over the time, that the 10, 11, 12 years that you've been doing this, that you've been working together, that you kind of have a template that's formed.
Absolutely.
That you could change things around. It sounds like you're working in conjunction with June and the Friends of Whitman Park.
A lot of times we read each other's minds. I pick up the phone and I call and say, hey, listen, when that ticket's coming? Well, I was actually coming on Wednesday. Exactly. And it happens all the time. So, yeah, it's...
But he's so easy to work with. He's
in customer
He's
service.
good.
Anytime I go over there and order a cranberry bog or something, he's hello. I don't have to buy anything.
It's a great family
he and
business.
his brother and his dad are always friendly, and the staff.
Don't
is
forget
always,
his mother.
His mom. I can't. Mom.
No, but we've had a few funny things happen. I remember the year the lights went out.
Yeah, we lost power, and that didn't stop us,
All of
though.
a sudden, in the middle of it was about half an hour into the wine tasting, boom, the whole town went out. somebody had an accident or something, and so the next year people were saying, when are the lights going out?
Everybody did like it. It was something
It
memorable.
was good, yeah.
And the emergency lights gave us enough light to enjoy the event, but it just kind of
Ambiance?
gave us a nice
Yes,
ambiance.
that's what
exactly.
everybody said. was
I don't think you have to
ambiance.
worry about that because I think parked right outside of the auditorium is a generator.
Yeah, they took care of that.
Yeah.
now.
There's a
They
generator.
had some
don't have to-
lights.
You don't have to worry about that now.
Oh, there's new ones, bigger ones. Oh.
No, I'm just saying there's a generator, so if the power goes out,
Yeah.
it should trigger the system to
We
kick
might
on.
have to cut some wires
No,
to
that's
create the
too
ambiance
bad.
this year.
That's too bad because people thought that
Maybe a
was
dimmer
great.
though in town hall. just
They
to
thought it
keep
was
in mind.
planned.
So what is so with some of the food that you might, because again, you also you're not just someone who serves spirits. You have
Correct.
food. You actually
Yeah.
make food on the
Right.
premises.
Great subs.
What are you gonna tease us a little bit?
So every year we just switched to boar's head meats.
I saw that.
So we'll probably do some boar's head meat platters to kind of introduce that and make sure everybody knows that we've now switched. And usually we create some Mediterranean sampler, and has just a variety of meats, cheeses, hummus, dips, pita chips, something to go well with the wine, help cleanse your palate, and get you a little going so that way you can enjoy some food maybe after the event.
Do you have a favorite wine? Are you a red wine, white wine guy?
I am a red wine guy,
Okay.
predominantly Cab, but my favorite wine actually comes from Greece, and it's not because I'm Greek, I swear. But it's called Ayurgitiko, which is a St. George grape. That's exactly what it's called. It's called St. George. It's indigenous to Greece only, and it's indigenous to an area called Nemea, and it's just very different characteristically. It's a drier wine and very bold wine, and it's absolutely one of my favorites.
Will any of that be on display, or
We usually always open at least one bottle. That's one of the ones that repeats because there isn't a lot of them.
Yep.
But we do repeat that one, and a lot of people get to try it, so it's good.
Very nice. Do you have a favorite wine?
Not really. I
White
don't
gal,
drink white.
Your red wine. Okay.
White.
good.
I like a
Chardonnay.
Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
Chardonnay's fine.
I'm pulling it out of you slowly.
But only very rarely do I have that. In fact, I just went down to John George's to get some. You have to make for arthritis, people with arthritic pains. You take the cheapest gin you can get. You take white raisins and soak the white raisins in the gin. But it has to
And
be
you chew on the
cheap gin.
raisins?
And then you have 10 or 12 every day. So I had to go down and ask for the cheapest gin.
So you spike
I
your
know they
raisins and
probably
take a
thought
few
I
a
was-
day. Is that
There
what
you
we're
go.
learning
Yeah,
today?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't really like gin, and I'm not a drinker. But we also, for people that don't drink, you'd be amazed. Some of the people that come that do not drink, they want the food. They want
Is it just
the
support?
social-
Maybe moral support, maybe?
it's well, I think it's socially they like the event, But Old Hitching Post is coming. They've been coming for a while.
Okay.
Trio Bakery has been with us from the very
Oh, yeah.
first. And he and Elena are very busy because
Elena,
he's got
yeah.
a place in Boston and one out here, and they're running. But they're coming.
I mean, how fantastic is this that you have some of the great local people who have businesses, small businesses that are thriving and doing well, and they're part of this social event. How does that make your organization feel?
I tell you, I get very glad at times, very happy to be living here because after all this time, I just walk in the store and people say, oh, it must be getting time for the wine tasting. And I don't even have to ask people anymore. They love the park. They love the event. And George and his family make everybody feel so welcome. It's just such a big hit now. I don't have to ask for anything, very seldom. But we thank people like Dave Menard has been in for years. Duval's has sold out tickets forever. And they're available at Regal Marketplace and at Duval's.
And I think one thing that a lot of people love and they thrive on is the fact that they see whatever they do in the park actually happens. So like they put benches in, they put the lights in, they've cleaned up the park. So it also helps when people are coming and buying that ticket to come into the wine tasting. The wine's not the only sale. They know that they're giving to something that they actually see the fruits of the labor happen after the fact.
Thank you. It's been very rewarding for me to get to a point now where I think I can relax a bit. That Yeah,
a
that
lot.
people appreciate the park now for what it is.
Well, there's not
And
many
that's a big
there's
step.
not many communities that have such an area that they can go to and relax, whether they go with their children and go to the playground. There's a pool. There's the bandstand. Yes, there are a couple of baseball fields. But otherwise, though, there isn't too many times that I don't walk through there and see families, enjoying it, whether it's in the grass or in front of the little pond with the fountain.
Yeah, my grandson calls it the giggly water.
Does he really?
The giggly water. But after 9/11, I remember we just started. We were 10 years into it. But after 9/11, I was walking down by the pond, and there was this woman sitting on a bench overlooking the water, and she said she had to come over here. It was the only place that she could feel comfort, was to come sit here in the park, just watch the water and relax. I thought, gee, people get a lot of different things out of the park.
Are there any upcoming projects? When your group meets, have there been conversations as to future projects you'd like to see done, whether it's recognition, maybe a recognition plaque? I know not too long ago you put a tree in the park for Ned Kirby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are little things that are always going. Is there?
Yeah, we do have our biggest plan right now is for trees, because these trees are 100, 200, some of them 200-300 years old.
Sure.
And when you lose a tree like that, it could take you another 200 or 300 years to replace it.
Sure.
So we replace it with the biggest, best trees we can, and thank the DPW for helping us out on that. But the trees right now, and we've had several dedicated trees, Ned Kirby being one of my favorites. There was a little boy that died of SIDS, and his friends of his grandparents donated the tree just the opposite side of Ned's. And you can walk down and see that, but we want to get plaques, on the slanted cement or
Granite or
granite
something, yep.
to put on those, and they're going to be expensive. And we get a few more trees planted, we want to start putting those plaques in.
What's interesting, you talk about the trees, because I remember it was during a hurricane. One of the trees actually split in 3 different sections. It was
Big
one of the,
oak tree.
It was one of the biggest trees there. And driving to the park, I'm like, oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Can't believe that one of the biggest trees in the park is no longer. It's now firewood, basically.
But you know what happened? After that tree went over, we replaced it, and the DPW measured, pulled it back, put it where they thought it should be. We got a brand new oak tree there. And that winter, one of the first things that happened was the DPW got complaints about the replacement because it was in the way of the kids sliding. So I thought, well, there was a humongous oak tree there forever. Now we got this little 4-caliber tree replacing it, and they were very upset that it was, that's one person, one sled, whatever.
Now, I know I'm being unfair by asking you this, George, because I know you're a busy guy. Every time I see you working over at the marketplace.
No unfair questions. Yeah.
No unfair questions. Do you have a favorite part of the park?
Honestly, my favorite part of the park that I see is because, between all the errands I might need to run throughout the day, is just literally seeing everybody enjoy the park.
Yep.
I mean, I sleep at home and I live at Regal. So aside from that, I don't get to enjoy too many of the things because it's usually nighttime by the time we're gone. But just seeing the people being able to enjoy the park, seeing the park used, because you do see, you drive through different other communities and you won't see another park as full or as many people doing different things, whether it's playing basketball on the basketball courts,
True.
a baseball game, somebody walking a dog, or just enjoying the water that's there. So just seeing it being used and enjoyed and then being part of the event is what kind of makes it an awesome thing.
And I want to, again, give you a chance to pay homage to being, a part of this community for 20 years at least, running a business in the town. And that is you guys have grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, what's some of the things that we can, not that we're doing an infomercial for you, but again, you're part of the community, and folks, unless they drive up to Route 18 to do shopping, your place is kind of it on the east side of Whitman.
Right.
It was one of the things that you've added over the years, and that folks talk to you about when they're at the wine tasting.
So a few of the things that we definitely added was the food portion. And as you may know, we started back in 1998 at the old building across the street, which is now the Bostonian Barbershop.
Which is doing fantastic.
And an adult daycare that's also there, too, for the elderly. And that was about 5,000 square feet. And then from there, we had the opportunity either to build a new store in the community and grow in the community that it's blessed us with all their help and support to get us to that point, or to maybe open a second location. So we elected to stay in the community and grow to another location, and we built a approximately 20,000 square foot building. And we incorporated cooked meals, home cooked meals, deli meats, fresh hot breakfast sandwiches in the morning. And the biggest thing that we were able to do was just grow our variety, whether it was from the mini mart portion. So you come in and you have a kid home that's sick. We have Campbell's, Progressive Soup. So it's not just, your convenience store that has one selection. You can come in and actually shop.
Right.
And then just growing on the spirit side and on our food portion. And we work very closely with Montilio's Bakery. So all together, we've just been able to create that true one-stop shop for you for anything you need.
June, we got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
Anything that you could look in the camera and tell the fine folks at home in regards to the event, other than make sure you're there on November 10th from 7 to 9, what would you like to say to them?
Well, I'd like to say that you enjoy the park so much, and that makes us very happy. But there were a lot of things going on in the Recreation Commission, so I know a lot of our things take place, everything of ours practically, takes place in the summer there. But these things, in order for the town or the organizations to present these things for your family to do, you need to come forth with some kind of support. And this is a way to not only give support, but to help physically do something in the park and have a good time. And I think everybody does.
They do.
It's a great time.
And I'm sure one of our WHCA cameras will be there because she's there
She's there every
year. And I'm not sure if it's just because she's capturing a community moment or she's swinging down some
She knows
Chardonnay.
where the good time
She
is.
knows where it is, but she does a great job. And I'm talking about, of course, Carol Brewster, who's will be covering the event that she does every year. And I make sure I thank Mike and Ryan working behind the glass as well. And I want to thank both of you for coming in and talking about this fantastic and continued success, not only with the event, but with Regal's Marketplace. And of course,
thank you.
Great work by the organization, Friends of Whitman Park.
I remember seeing you climb all over the bandstand with your cameras.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore, too big. Too big, those days are
I
over.
don't do the bandstands anymore either.
But,
But thank you for asking.
You got continued success. And
Thank you.
please remember, it's about community. If you have a chance, stop by either Duval's or Regal Marketplace for your tickets. And tickets are $25, so be sure to get yours before they go. And I believe there's 100 glasses for the first 100 who show up to the event. So that's all the time that we've been allotted for this particular program. We want to thank you for joining us. Until next time, have a great day.